Hi guys, Adam here from Avenue Tennis. Going to take you through a 20-minute core conditioning workout. So find time, find yourself a little space. If you've got resistant bands, we can use resistant bands. If not, we can use a small plate. Instead of your band or a large plate. Choose going to use just going to challenge you. Obviously, see what the options are, progressing as we go. So on this one, we're going to start by warming up the core first. So we're going to relax our shoulders down into the mat. Take the hands behind the small of your spine so your fingertips just about touch. Once they're there, squeeze your belly button in, brace your abs until you feel a little pressure pushing down to your fingertips. So from there, we know full well our abs are working, we're all fired up. So I'm going to just gently lift the legs up, lower them down. So lift the front one, back leg, gently lower down. And the whole time we're moving, we're going to make sure our back pushing against those fingertips. If you feel your back starting to lift up, take the feet a little closer to the body. That's going to reduce the resistance. For more of a challenge, as you lower down, take the feet a little further away from the body. So from here, we're going to slide our fingertips out, bring towards the temple. Now this one, we're going to crunch up, rotate, center, and down. So we're going to work the obliques as we twist. Now, as I'm rotating, see I'm taking my shoulder across the body rather than just taking my elbow towards the knee. So anytime if you want to lower the resistance, keep the knees at 90, tap the toes on the ground. So we're going to do about 10 times both sides, so 20 crunches in total. So make sure again I'm not holding my breath every time I lift, breathing out to crunch up, empty my lungs, so I can crunch a little higher, allow my ribs a little close to the hips. Now let's go back to those leg lifts. So arms towards the ground, point the palms to the ceiling. Think how that works different when you take the support away from the arms for the legs. So again, crunching, knees lift, gently lower. If you want more of a challenge, don't let the toes touch the ground. Keep the toes off the floor. And see how that works, the lower abs, a little extra. Now if you want a little bit more work, extend to the ceiling, slowly lower to about 45 degrees. So crunch in, lift up, lower down. So when we're using the legs, we're actually using the lower abs. So we want to feel it from the belly button downwards. Nice big breaths, and making sure again, when the legs lower, we don't lift the lower back. The lower back starts to lift up. That's when we need to bring the knees back in and reset. Challenge yourself, how low can you go before your back starts to lift? So again, 10 to 12 times. If you don't have one leg, start again on the opposite leg. Rotate it round. Using that control, deep breaths to keep the body moving. One more. Right, bring the feet back in, fingertips to temple. Let's go back to that little crunch combo. So we crunch in, we rotate, as we kick the heel towards about 45 degrees. Again, if you want to lower the intensity, tap the heels down. Now when you're doing this move, if you can see your elbows, it means you can take your arms wider. That's going to help us encourage to lift the upper body, lift the shoulder blades from the floor. One more. And relax. So a great way to work the abs and warm up is your crunches. If you want to work harder, what we do, we come over into a plank position. So let's start from the ground upwards. So when we get set up like plank, we want our elbows directly under the shoulders. Fists, hands flat. I prefer fists squeezing together. That way I want to feel it a little bit tighter in my shoulders. I focus on pushing the arms down and pushing the workout back into the abs. So from here, I'm going to tuck my toes, lift up onto my knees, so my shoulders and my hips are roughly the same height. Okay, what I don't want is push back, and my shoulders, in this case, drifting lower down the body. Try and keep your elbows directly under the shoulders to get that workout in the core. Now from here, all I'm going to do, take one foot back, and return. Okay, now if you can, tuck your toes, and to lift your knee, rather than lifting your foot, focus on pushing your heel back. So we take 1 foot at a time, up, up, down, down. Pushing down the back of the leg. I'm trying really hard now not to move my body. If I feel it in the back of the shoulders, push down through my forearms, push it back into the abs. Now, if you want a little option, take the intensity up a little further, what we're going to do is go up, up, jack the feet, lower them back down. So lift, lift, jack, jack, lower. So as you can guess, I'm doing all the same work through the same side. So I'm starting with my left leg and then lowering the left leg. Now it's starting a little bit warmer now. So now we're definitely working harder. One more. Now we're still going to work the core. We'll come back to that one just in a minute. So let's roll onto our backs. Let's work the obliques a little. So anchor your shoulders down, take the hands wide, squeeze your palms onto the floor, take the knees over the hips about 90 degrees. So what we don't want is the knees coming up towards the chest or drifting further down. Go for like a little pendulum swing. So we're going to take the knees to one side, keeping the shoulders down, see where your range is. Hopefully, about 45 degrees. If you can go lower without the shoulder lifting, go for it. If not, find where your range is. Just roll through the spine. Now the challenge comes as we lean over, we're going to extend one leg out, bring it back and switch legs as we go across. So breathe out as you lower, breathe in as you lift, back out again. So we're still working the core muscles. This time we're focusing on those muscles around the base of the spine and side of the body. So again, make sure those shoulders stay nice and anchored by keeping the palms tight to the ground. Right, about 10 more seconds. We'll go back into that plank position. All again on the opposite side to lead. One more. So when you're ready, roll yourself over, come back into your plank. Set up again, if you'll go straight to the ground or straight into your combo. So this time, opposite leg lifts, jack, if you want the option, the jack, and lower down. Now if you want to go for the jack, just gently walk. Walk the knees. But again, if you want that jack option, keep it in there. So the whole time we're moving the legs, we're changing our centre of balance, challenging the core a little further, rather than just trying to hold the plank for the 45 seconds. Push through the heels of the lift. What we don't want is to see the butt coming up as we push away and getting tired. So bring the body weight back forward, elbows under the shoulders. One more. Let's roll back over to that pendulum swing. So from the abs to the obliques. And anchor the shoulders down. Take it through to warm up. Add the little swing of the elbows coming down and the leg going along. Alright, and when you're ready, just going to roll it up. Move off the floor for a little bit. So if you have a resistance band, now it's time to grab it, have you use. But if you haven't got a resistance band, try a similar move with a smaller plate. What we're going to do is go for our wood chop. So again, we're going to work all those muscles around the centre of the body, all your sling muscles. So every time you walk, you run, the body works from left to right, so we're going to need to strengthen those muscles. So you've got the resistance band, open up. Place it underneath roughly the centre of the foot. If you've got a shoelace on, roughly in line where your shoelaces are. So foot on the centre. For more resistance, keep the handles together, hold the outside band. If you want to really reduce the resistance, let go of the inside band, take the handles on the outside. What we're going to do is gently release, so grab hold of the band, bring your hands off inside your knees. There's very, very little resistance. Now from your wood jump, you're going to rotate, bring the hands to back shoulder height on the opposite side. So again, we're rotating round from one side to the other. Now we can keep it nice and smooth. If you want explosive power, we can take the band up nice and tall. Just make sure we're pushing down through the outside of the foot, down through the blade of the leg. Now try and get your chest in line with your thigh. And the arms go long, but the elbows are staying soft. And for a little bit more of a challenge, we can add a little zigzag. So we take it up, over, up, and back. Let the movement flow from side to side. So it's my shoulders that rotate. As I have more tension on the bands, I increase that resistance. Now, can you keep the legs soft? Use a little more of that lunge. Two more. All right, step it in. We'll come back down on the other side, but between now and then, let's work on the glutes. So again, an important part of working the core is the glutes as well. Helps you lift stronger, helps you run faster. So open the band up, you want your feet on about hip width when you've got no resistance on the band. From here, switch the handles over for more resistance, or keep them separate for less. Otherwise, I'm going to stand myself up nice and tall, bring my hands to the hip. Again, for more resistance, I can pull the hands further around to the side. Now from here, keep my knees soft. I'm going to do literally a crab walk. 3 times to one side, 3 times back. So again, I'm pushing through the heels, keeping my foot nice and flat. As I step wider, I increase the resistance, making the side of my glutes work a little harder to step a little wider. So again, 8 to 10 times each side. Once you feel a little bit tired, we're going to take away the step, but still keep our feet hip width. Now from here, similar move, what I'll do is step back as I lean forward. Alternate leg, step back and forward. For more of a challenge, don't let the toes touch the ground. As you lean forward, chest is over your knee, nose is over your toes. So we change the focus on the glutes, but we're still working at the same time. This means we can work that muscle group just for that little bit longer. By mixing up the moves, and keep us moving the whole time. 2 more. Last one. Let's go back to that side step. Step wide, 3 times. Bring it back. Because every time we come back to it, it's going to feel a little tougher every time. But still try and keep those steps hip width or wider. Really strengthen the side of the legs and those glutes. Ooh. Gonna need a wet floor sign in a second. The last 2. All right, so let's rest the glutes down. Set those wood chops on the opposite side. Band comes up nice and wide. Foot goes on, roughly in line with the laces. Double band, single band. Feet nice and wide, a little bit more rotation, a little bit more swing and sway side to side. So again, hand comes from the knee, out and across to the opposite shoulder. Now take a look at my hands. Always in line with my sternum. So my body rotates, my hands have to come around faster to maintain. So again, we can sink a little lower, push across a little further. And from that little rope pattern, go up, across, up, and back. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you've got a song in the background. Just switch off and listen to the lyrics. And rest it in. We'll go back to that crab walk. And go back to the crab walk. Otherwise, let's take a little different option. Let's take my handles into more of like a horse stance I'm going to come into. So take the feet into the handles, wrapping those into the toes, squeezing it in. So when you take your feet back, point your toes to the back of the room, the handles are not going to come out. So from here, keep one thumb into the resistant band. Other hand stays out. Now we're going to push the heel away, focus on the back of the glutes, small little movements. So you've got a little timer on. Give yourself a time, give yourself a challenge. We're going to do 4 moves, about 20 seconds each. So again, I'm pointing my toes to the back of the room, legs stay nice and long. I'm going a couple of inches above, a couple of inches below my shoulder. So I'm not reaching to the ceiling, keeping that movement nice and small. After 20 seconds, bring your knee towards your chest, reach out. Again, put that hands in the hair. We can do it without the resistant band, you're still going to feel it. Otherwise, point that foot along, push the heel back. After 20 seconds, go back to that small little movement. Now here comes your challenge, the last part. Rather than straight up and down, little circles. Now straight as I'm circling, my hips want to start moving. So let's brace the core, try and keep the body still. Imagine a pen in between your toes. Try and draw a circle on the wall behind you with that pen. 20 seconds up, bring it down. One leg, we've got 2. So take the band into the opposite hand, hands under the shoulders for support, knees under the hips. Take the opposite foot out long, a little pulse. Small up and down, small range. And squeeze the belly button into the spine to help keep the body still. From there, knee comes into chest, reach out long. Comes to the center, push back, keeping that leg nice and controlled. So again, go back to that first one, smaller lifts. And from here, back to those little circles. Clockwise, anti-clockwise, doesn't make a difference. As long as it's like a circle, because we should find what interesting shapes we get. Let's bring it in. So first 2 rounds, a little warm up. Second 2 rounds, put both that thumbs into the band. You're going to increase those resistance. We're going to start again. Small range. Now we've increased that resistance from the band. So I've got more force to pull again as I lift my heel towards the ceiling. Now about 20 seconds in. Knee towards the center of the chest. Push out. So the whole time we're working, the whole time we're moving, we're still working that lower body. And if it's raining outside, it's definitely raining here, because that's my sweat. So again, circles. One leg done, switch it over. Smaller lifts. finish those circles again. Rest it in. Ready to sit yourself up. Mop your brows if you're getting a bit warm. Take the handles out. So from here, we go to the side plank. So a side plank or oblique crunch. We'll bring our elbow directly under the shoulder. Now we can take that lower knee long in line with the foot. But what we're going to do, if you want more resistance, we're going to add the band again back around the foot. For less resistance, just do it without the band. So from toe to hand, in line with the shoulder, we're going to lift onto the knee, or if you want more resistance, more of a challenge, onto the heels. If the knee's down, make sure the heel on that same foot is behind the knee. What we're going to do is take the hand about halfway and reach it to the ceiling. So from here, I'm going to bring my elbow and my knee in, crunch overhead. So again, we can do it with the resistant bands for more of a challenge, or we can do it without, just do body work. Just a little crunch down the side, reach long. Beginning from that challenge in there, see how far you can stretch the band. And you've got quite a lot of give. The only thing you shouldn't really do is let go last minute because they're going to ping down to your toes. So once you've got hold, lift it in. So 10 to 12 reps. Once you've finished that challenge, keep the hip long, take the hand to the ceiling, now pulse your top foot. Leg goes long. See how that feels down the back of the body, even the underside. And once you're on one side, let's switch over and do the other side. So you can come to the side of the body, most importantly, bring that elbow under the shoulder. So if you're going to take it too high, we'd lose that support, and we put a lot of pressure on the shoulders. By keeping it underneath, it keeps us nice and safe. So again, sit up the knee, hand comes to ceiling, crunch in, reach over. The more you stretch the band, the more resistance you're pushing against. When you're done, pulse the leg. Test that balance while you're still fatigued. Once you're done, rest it down. Right, so again, we do the exact same moves, with or without the resistant bands, so choose what's going to challenge you a little bit more. Now if you've got a large plate, kettlebell or dumbbell, something we can hold on to. Then go back to the feet, bring those muscles back together. So we can use the upper body and lower body, and using all those sling muscles in between. Option one, body weight or plate onto your collarbone. We're going to step laterally into a squat. So what we don't want is a lunge. We don't want one leg favoriting. So keep the body weight centered, chest stays up. Now if you fancy using the upper body and those sling muscles, on the way down, take the plate just outside knee width. But my hands are going no lower than my hip. So that hands are not plate, nothing's going to touch my legs. Keeping the chest up. You have to increase the intensity, increase the height. Go a little faster, see how quick you can get back to the top. Whew, show my heart shot up. Might tell everybody less talking. So watch my shoulders, relaxed, coming across the body. The more you relax, the more muscles we engage. If you fancy a little extra, how about add a little halo from one side to the other. Taking the plate, weight, around the head. think so far we've been non-stop. So anything we're trying to increase the intensity on, it's going to bring that heart rate nice and high. Good job. Go mop my brow. Let me come back in. Remember, use the recovery. Bring the heart rate down. It's not work our resistant bands. Get a test balance. We change where the force is pulling from. So from here, we can take one foot in, opposite foot, step back, even distribute the feet, weight between the legs. And take your front leg, push your knee in line with your toes, bring your chest over your thigh. Now to work the shoulders, we can use two small plates, two small kettlebells, something of equivalent weight. What we're going to do is lift, lift, lower, and lower. So even hold at the top, if it's holding a plate, you're stopping it from falling. With the resistant bands, you're keeping that tension under. Now, if you want to test your balance, do the same move with your back heel off the ground. Now, to help with balance, I'm pointing my toe further back. So as I lean forward, my legs are acting as a counterweight, keeping me nicely balanced. While I'm working the shoulders, it's keeping me nice and still. I'm still working the glutes, working the core. Let's go for one more. Rest it down. So great move to work the back of the legs, especially with the back foot up. Working the small muscles in the back of the shoulders. Now speaking of small muscles, let's come back into our band. Cross the legs over, cross the handles. From here, like a deadlift, we're going to push the hips back, bend forward, and allow the hands to come in line with the knees. Now from here, two options. We can keep the hands under the elbows for a wide row. Although we're lifting the hands, focus on the back of the body, squeezing the shoulder blades towards the spine. So that's option one. Option two, longer levers. Take the hands wide. See how far you take the hands apart before that resistant band stops you from lifting any higher. But see, I've still got my hips back. I'm still squeezing my belly button in. Now the back of the shoulders, small muscle groups to pull this band apart. Two more. Last one. Remember the option, keep knees soft. If you want less resistance, don't cross the band. Same moves, less resistance. Let's work back to the shoulders on the other side. So foot, center resistant band, roughly in line with the base of your shoelaces. Step back, push the knee in line with the toe, chest over the knee, relax the shoulders down. So we go up, up, down, down. Big deep breaths the whole time. If you find it a little easier, more of a challenge, lift the back foot. Try and keep the leg long. See how far you can pull those handles. And hopefully there's enough resistance on the band to get to shoulder level. I don't know where you are, but the aircon's just kicked in here. I think I'm working hard. We'll see. Just a little more. Keep the body nice and still as we're working. Go back to that chart. Now, if you want a different option, less resistance, come down to your knees. So that same second move. Resistant band comes just a little bit lower than your knees. Take the hands across the body. And when you're here, sit yourself up. Push your hips back, same as a deadlift. chest comes over your hands. The same options, we can row, we can pull wide. Squeezing the shoulder blades back, hands are in line with my chest, not my shoulders. So squeeze the body back. If you want a little bit of a pattern, a little more of a challenge, try an L row. So elbows, reach, slowly lift. So lean forward as the elbows go back. So hands almost drop down, keeping the tension. Pull that band as far apart as you can. Going down side, if you haven't shaped your legs, your resistance band will remind you to. Ouch. So in, out, lift with control. It's the whole time moving, upper and lower body together. Building strength against that resistance. Warming up and firing up the core muscles, keeping us balanced. Right. 2 more. Down, out, lift. And release. Take your time up your brows. We've got 2 more moves left. Let's take out to the back of the body. So all we're going to do, work the upper body, work the back body, and then bring them both together. So here I'm going to gently lift my feet, bring my feet hip width. I want to squeeze my hips towards the ground, squeeze my belly button in. All I'm going to do is go and lift up the chest, reach the hands wide, reach in, and reach down. So I'm going to lift, out, in, down. Now try this. Open your palms to the front of the room. See how that works? The back of the shoulders a little more. As the hands come wide, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now for more support, don't push your belly button into the floor. Squeeze your glutes, and see if that helps you to lift higher up. So squeeze, open, in, and down. 1 more. So from here, I'm going to keep my head down. So keep your nose pointing to the ground. We'll do the same thing. So I'm going to lift 1 foot, take it out, take it in, and down. Other foot, so up, out, in, and down. So my aim, just try and lift the thigh off the ground. Squeezing the glutes, keeping the leg long. So we're using those small muscles around the base of the spine, the back of the body. So using the glutes to lift out. So we've done the arms, we've done the legs. We put them together, and we actually get our skydiver. So when you're ready, lift up, reach out, bring it in, tap down. So all those muscles down the back of the body. Squeeze the belly button in, don't push it into the floor. Squeeze your shoulder blades back to open the heart. Squeeze the glutes to help support the rest of the back of the body. Now we're not done. We're going to add on a little flutter kick. Just to fatigue those legs right to the end. So fingers down, legs go long, now kick from the hip. Not the knees, long legs, long levers. Squeezing the glutes, how fast can you go? Can you get to 10 seconds? If you can, how about 15? Push a little longer, squeeze about a little more. 4, 3, 2, and relax down. Need time, bring the hand on the shoulders, knees on the hips, slide the hips back, go into a child's pose, just to release some of that tension from the back of the body. If you want it, you can go in again. Come onto the front, hands on the shoulders, reset. Let's go back to the arms first. Relax the legs, lift the chest, open up, in, and down. Just think, lift the chest by breathing in. As Just going to fill the lungs and actually lift the body higher. Two more. So the usual drill. Work one part of the body, and then we work the opposite part. And when you're ready, put them together. So the legs, up, out, in, and down. Now I'm not aiming for the corner of the room, just enough so I feel my glutes squeeze, and the muscles down the front of the thigh. And you keep the leg long. Great thing about working out while laying down, horizontal to the ground, so this heart's got more strength to pump the blood around the body and fuel the muscles, helping them to reoxygenate. Now fire up again when we're ready. Two more. Last one. Let's put it together. Lift, reach, in and down. Let's keep the hands off the ground if you can. When you're feeling tired, take the option to tap the fingertips down between. So lower the hands, lessen the resistance for the upper back. Work up until two more. And rest. So again, bring the hands underneath, slide the hips back. If you want to add the flutter kick, add the flutter kick. Nice work. There's a nice little core routine for you. Give it a go. As you can see, as soon as you lay down, getting a bit warm. So again, every move we do, play some music to it, take those moves, do them feel a bit longer. I would recommend first move, second move, back to the first move, especially if you're doing something on one side compared to the other side. Take the time, mix it up, see what the challenge is. But any questions, just send a little message. We'll get back to you. Hope you enjoy it. Cheers.